All right, and welcome to the Flying Tips podcast. Thank God you guys can't see me talk with my hands, even though I am doing it. I may sound still nasally, and it's not actually this. I'm actually starting to think I'm getting that like summer cold thing. I don't know, annoying. Anyway, this is for like you first time flyers. If you haven't flown before, and you're kind of like, okay, so what do I do to get ready for when I'm about to fly in X amount of time? Or for some of you frequent flyers and those moments where you're thinking, you know what, I never thought about doing that before. So here's some of the things that I experienced traveling and flying that, like I said, some of you pros may not have thought about before, or for those of you who are flying for the first time, you haven't brought yourself to quite get the nerve to fly yet. So here's some kind of maybe some tips to kind of help you decide. I don't know. One of the big things is plan. I've actually got the in bold here. Plan. Um, the big reason for that is, and really part of the reason of planning is a lot of research. Also, in that is almost do test run packing. Once you have an idea of how long you're going to be gone for, um, get your outfits or what about, what your outfits might be, or at least enough clothes for that time period, and pack. Just pre-pack to make sure that you've got enough room in your luggage and that you've thought things through. Because all the time when you're packing, you're thinking, oh my God, am I going to need my. And then you're going to have to, figure all that out. One of the big things is go ahead and make a packing list as you're, doing this test run packing or beforehand. Main reason for that again is those moments where you're like, oh my God, did I forget the. I know I always have those, the dreams right before I go on a trip of forgetting my bathing suit. Bathing suit's the big thing I always forget in my dreams. Of course, I don't forget it in real life because I've drove myself crazy making sure I had that. Um, so yeah, plan and even like, whether it's a week or so before or months before. I was doing it months ahead of time. You guys can, I think I filmed some of that on my vlog of, test run packing. And really, it's a good thing to do too. One thing I also did was I did the pre-packing and test run everything, and then I actually filmed myself unwrapping it out of my luggage and putting it in my laundry. So now then I had a video of, what I was planning on packing. So those moments of, okay, which shirt, which one of my green shirts am I packing? So it does help there as well. In packing, one of the really good tips that people have talked about over and over and over again, it's on any tip YouTube video out there, but one of the big things to do is roll your clothes. Don't fold it, don't stack them up in there, but roll them. Usually what I do is I about fold them in half and then, just roll them up into a ball. If any of you have done camping and have had like your sleeping bag, really roll it up like a sleeping bag. For girls, and some of you guys have long hair, use hair ties to secure the clothes. Main reason for that is, well, not only will your clothes not unravel if one of them gets a little loose in your baggage, in your luggage, but the other reason is you've got your hair ties. You don't have to worry about packing those in your toiletry bag or whatever. It's right there. It's right there in your clothes. So that day you unwrap your clothes and boom, you got your hair tie handy right there. So that's one of the other fun things, and really, it does make a huge difference. And you can, stack them up like I don't know what thing has, sushi rolls. I don't know. I really can't think of anything that stacks by rolls, but whatever. You get the concept here. One other big thing to do is shop around for your tickets. Uh, because like I work for a retailer, which you guys know, I work for Walmart, and we get special discounts on a lot of different things. And it says we get airline discounts. Well, they were through Priceline, blah blah blah. I checked out my tickets through that, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And watching one of those traveling tips videos on YouTube, I was like, hmm. And then one of the things they say is to actually go directly, call the airline. Now, I didn't call the airline. I actually went to the airline's website, and it was a lot cheaper going just directly to United.com. I didn't went through United Airlines. And it was a lot cheaper than going through Priceline or going through Cheapo Air or any of those others. Going to the airline's direct website, so much easier. And if you're not sure which airline to go with, go through each one of them, find out who goes to the area that you live in and where you're going, and see like check Deltas, check United. If you're staying towards the south, check Southwest prices and everything. But yeah, so that's one of the big things to do, and also kind of look for other airlines in your or airports in your area to leave from. Because like for me, if you guys seen on my vlogs, I live closer to Charlotte, but to change it from instead of leaving from Charlotte, leaving from Atlanta was like almost $100 cheaper, and the gas going down there was only like $70. So actually driving to Atlanta was cheaper than flying out of it, Charlotte right here. So also check for that, kind of see if like some of the other airports in, within a couple hour drive or whatever, it may be a better idea to fly out from there. And if you got a friend who's willing to drive you there, or take like the Greyhound out there and then fly out, just kind of look at your options. Also looking um, like for smaller airports, they say it's actually better, but I ended up flying out of freaking Atlanta, one of the busiest airports, and yet it was cheaper for me. Um, One of the other big tips I tell people with first timers, and really, and it's part of the reason why I did it. Again, I've only flown technically, well, once round trip. Um, but if it's your first time, one thing that helped me was getting a long layover. I did a 4 hour, or was it 4 or 6 hour? No, it was 4 hour layover in Chicago. And the main reason for that is because I had to change planes, and we're trying to run around in airports to finding your gate. I've heard is one of the craziest things ever, and lucky for me, I went down like maybe 10 gates. Um, but two, the other reason to have a nice long layover is to relax and to eat. Because if you didn't eat before your first flight or whatever, if your first flight's a long one, but usually if it's over 3 hours, I think they feed you, but still. Um, but if for whatever reason you didn't eat beforehand, and now it's like, okay, I made it through my first flight. Oh God, now I'm starving, which is pretty much what happened with me. I didn't eat before my first flight. So my nervous stomach finally settled, and I'm like, oh my God, now I'm starving. Um, so it's a good thing to sit at your gate or people watch, what have you, and just chill out for a while before your next flight. Um, Pray that your airport has free Wi-Fi and not a pain in the ass Wi-Fi. Um, because with Chicago, like I left Atlanta, great Wi-Fi. Hanging out in Minneapolis airport in Minneapolis St. Paul airport, it was great Wi-Fi. Chicago, oh my God, it was a pain in the butt, big time. I mean, it felt like, okay, you want free Wi-Fi? Watch this ad. Okay, watch the ad. Um, um, um. Oh good God, seriously. Okay, whatever. I just gave up after a while. But yeah, the big thing with the long layover is to relax, kind of get over your anxieties of your first flight. It's like okay, on to the next trip. So yeah, pack toiletries in your carry-on bag. This is one of the biggest things I cannot stress. Um, they tell you 3 ounce, but it's 3.1 or 3.4 ounce bottles. I forget exactly the amount, but it's like 3 ounce bottles that you can put them in, and if you have to be able to contain all of those bottles into a quart-sized bag. Now for me, this is my carry-on toiletries bag. It was actually a perfume bag from last Black Friday. But I have my toiletries in that bag. You can see there's my shampoo and conditioner, sunscreen, after sun lotion, I think the lotion, and my body sprays. Uh, I'm telling you, that was the best thing ever. Um, Big thing is you do have to take it out when you get through security, and they'll tell you in the announcements. You do have to take that out separately, as well as taking off your shoes and have your bag out and everything like that. Um, but really, it is the way better thing to do is to pack it in your carry-on. Because if for whatever reason, like I had to deal with, where you lose your bag, at least you have your toiletries. At least, when you get to your hotel, you may not have all your clothes, but at least you have your toiletries and can take a shower. One other thing to keep on your carry-on bag is a change of clothes. At least one change of clothes. Just a basic shirt, pants, socks, and if you want an extra pair of shoes. If you're wearing something stupid, if you're like wearing flip-flops at the airport, you at least have some tennis shoes to walk around in the next day. They do so because you do have to take your shoes off at the airport. If you're not one of those germaphobes that doesn't care if your bare feet touches floor that people have been walking on, then yeah, go ahead and wear flip-flops. If you're one of those who doesn't really like, would rather not have your feet touch floor where other people have been walking on, wear socks or whatever, or like even wear thin shoes with slip-on socks. It depends on, if you've got embarrassing foot odor or something like that. It's easy to wear shoes that breathe, but you can at least wear thin socks or stockings or whatever. One of the big things I did, and you guys can see it in my vlog as well, is I had a stuffed penguin with me on the plane, especially if you get nervous a lot, or if you have anxiety issues. It's good to have something with you to hold on to, especially during takeoff, because oh my God, it can be very jolting if you're not used to it. And for those who are frequent roller coaster riders and you love thrill rides, you're going to be fine on a plane. That's what I told one of my friends. I said, honey, if you can deal with riding the Intimidator, you can handle a plane. Um, that was a big problem that was with me with that takeoff, that zero G change in altitude and stuff. Ooh, I'm trying to edit myself here. Um, it killed me. I mean, my brain just totally, my head felt like it was being squished. It was not a fun feeling for me. And holding my penguin helped a little bit, kind of put the tension into it rather than thinking about my head exploding. Um, but even if like a picture of somebody or a stuffed animal, one other thing I did was I had my MP3 player going and was just blasting. I actually ended up, like once I got on the plane and it was the point, like, okay, guys, we're getting ready to taxi off. I'm like, next, next, next. Okay, there's a song I want, and just kept it on repeat. So I heard like the same song like, two or three times as we were taxiing and then taking off. And it really did help a little bit, just focusing on. At that point, it was home free. I think it was home free that one my first takeoff. Just focusing on Chris and Austin and them. It's like, okay, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Whoo, doggy. Yeah. Other big thing to help you with takeoff, especially if you're the kind that any kind of elevation change, your ear pops, and you have that lovely muffled sound that almost you're done with me anyway. Um, Chew gum. Make sure you are chewing gum, or else you're going to be sitting there flexing your jaw and yawning a lot. If you're not a gum chewer, get some like hard candy to swallow. 'Cause sometimes just the swallowing action is what will help you. Um, if you're going to do a carry-on bag, which again, you really, really, really should. In fact, some people don't even bother with checking a bag. They do everything in their carry-on. Make sure it is a rolling carry-on bag. As you can see again in my vlogs, me carrying around that stupid duffel bag sucked so bad, especially having to run around the mall with it was not fun at all. So, Danny Duncan of the DLV, love you, Danny. He was talking about right before I left on my trip about having a rolling carry-on bag. Unfortunately, the only small carry-on bag I had at the time, and as I still do, it's filled with old bathroom stuff when we moved. God, I think is when we left Indiana, or well, when we left Tennessee. So it is had shampoo and soap broken and soaked all up in that. And I'm like, no, I am not putting my carry-on stuff in that. But if you do get a chance, um, really get a carry-on bag for your uh, a rolling carry-on bag. It really is the way to go. Keep paperwork handy. Yeah. So how not to lose your luggage? One of the things that they give you your boarding pass once you get to the airport. If you've especially pre-bought your tickets, you go to this lovely kiosk. I know in Minnesota the kiosk when I was actually when I was at Atlanta, it was just a counter. I went to lay at the counter, but you go up there and show them your e-receipt or e-ticket, and they'll give you your boarding pass or passes if you got a layover and change planes. And if you check a bag, they attach a piece of paper to your bag and then give you the permission, the receipt, the companion tab with it. Do not lose that tab. I cannot stress that enough because that is what happened to me. Not so much that I lost the tab, but I had my going there flight and my return flight paperwork all together. So when I was returning, when I was at Minneapolis airport, and they told me that due to weather, I was going to be doing switching over to a Delta flight and going directly to Atlanta instead of doing the layover in Chicago, which had me freaking the crap out. But when she asked for my luggage tag, I gave her my tag for coming to Minneapolis instead of the one leaving Minneapolis. Problem is, I actually even looked at it and I kept thinking, wait, is this the right one? And I gave it to her and she didn't seem to act like, oh, wait, this is the wrong one. So I thought I was safe. Yeah, until I got to Atlanta and my bag wasn't there and it turned out it was still in Minneapolis going, hey, we don't know what to do. They just left me here. So not only keep your paperwork, but on your return flight, make sure to stash, if you're wanting to keep it for sentimental sake, scrapbook, whatever, keep your paperwork separate from your return flight to your going flight. Trust me, it will screw you up. Snacks and foods. You are allowed to have food with you as you go through security if there's like your favorite snack that you want to take with you, or especially when you're coming back and there's like, oh my gosh, this local delicacy. This as long as it is contained, wrapped and stuff, it's totally allowed. As far as liquids, you cannot have a drink with you when you go through security. However, as soon as you get through security, each gate nearby, there's vending machines, there is newsstands, little gift shop knickknacks. All of them have drinks, and you can buy your drink there before you get on your plane. So don't try that stupidness of trying to smuggle in a drink and it getting tossed in the trash. Of course, obviously no alcohol. You can get some flights do have it on the flight, but I wouldn't recommend it. When you do finally, decide which airline you're flying with, check their restriction on baggage size and go ahead and measure your bag to make sure that yours isn't too big or you realize that hey, this one bag I'm bringing is actually small enough to be my carry-on. I might as well just go ahead and keep it as my carry-on and not worry about checking a bag. So that is one big thing to do as well. And if this or podcast does go over 30 minutes, I don't care. One of the other big things is that I did is pull up maps of all of the airports that you're going to be at, the one you're leaving from, the one or multiples that you'll be laying over at, and the one you'll be arriving. Um, the big thing on that is, especially, is just kind of get an idea of where your gate might be, especially if you are staying with the same airline. It really does help because I've noticed that pretty much the same airline tends to go in the same spot of that airport. So if you go, even with me, like you go from United to United, you're just going down the hall. But if you're one of those people that decide, I'll just mix my airlines, you'll go from United, take the plane train down to the Delta terminal, that is where it will kill you. Try to stay with the same airline because more likely than not, you're only going to have to go a few feet to get to your next gate. Um, but it still helps you get in a map and maybe even a detail map where like the restaurants and shops are. Because it was funny is even though I did check that out, I ended up because you don't know until you're there of or like the day before of what gate your airplane's going to be at. So here I was, scoping it out and even had an idea of restaurant which I was going to go to. Ended up McDonald's, which was right there between. It was actually like it was a few feet down from the gate I was at. So that was pretty cool. But really, check your maps. And if nothing else, too, get an idea of where to arrange for your ride to pick you up. For me, like, and that was funny is me and mom didn't do that. And I just figured, okay, as long as she knows that I'm coming in from Delta, she'll have an idea of where to go because I honestly had no idea where I was going. And it was really late at night and it was just insane. But she was right there next to um, luggage pickup, which ended up not being needed. But yeah, one of the things with packing toiletries and just reminded me when I went to the lady to let her know, hey, I did lose my luggage. She said, okay, are you going to need an overnight bag? I said, actually, that is the one thing I made sure is I did actually pack my toiletries. And she goes, you are the first one. Wow. I'm just like, wait, what? Seriously? And I guess a lot of people they just figure, oh well, I'll just go ahead and put it in my check bag. It'll be fine. I don't have to deal with that at security. I'm telling you, people, keep it in your carry on. Um, I'm not going to stress that enough. One of the big things too is go to I think it's TSA.gov for any questions, or just go on to Google or your favorite search engine and say, "Can I blah 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 on an airplane?" That's exactly what I did for most of my questions. 'Cause like about food, I was like, wait, can I keep food on me? Like if during my layover, if I don't eat all my lunch, can I take the rest of it with me? And the big thing is with layovers, you don't have to go back through security. That was another thing that kind of made me nervous. I was so afraid that I was going to go back through security. No, once you go through security, you don't have to go back through it unless you like leave the airport and come back. And then yes, you will have to go back through security, but and as long as you're on the premises, yeah, you don't have to deal with that anymore. And that was one of my biggest issues. But if um, if you have any questions, really check with TSA or message me on here, leave a comment below, and if I have the answer, I'll give it to you. The one thing I learned while watching the TV show Lost is the ring I wear, the diamond on my left hand. No, it's not an engagement ring. It's a long story. I'll get to that in one of my other podcasts. It's already tight on my hand as is. So with the on the show Lost, the lady had both her and her husband's rings on her necklace because of your hands allegedly swell when flying. So I made sure to take my ring off and put it on my necklace. And one of the big things I was afraid of, because, like, they pretty much tell you to take everything off in security, and I didn't have to deal with it. They said, jewelry's okay, hats are okay, belts are okay, and that was at Atlanta. Now I noticed in Minneapolis, they were telling, everything off, hats off, belts off, jewelry was okay to stay on, and this one guy, he's like, I saw my belt on, but they went ahead and told him most of them have the body scanners now, which I actually loved. That was my biggest fear too, was dealing with keeping my jewelry on and going through the beepers. But it's the body scanner now, which really is so cool. You just walk in there, stand up there, do the jumping jack pose, step out. Now, I don't know what it was at Minneapolis that triggered me for an extra pat down. I don't know. I mean, my lighters were in my check-on bag. Yes, because I forget why I bought a lighter, but they had these cool lighters at the Walmart, and I bought one. I was like, I don't really want to leave it, so meh. And it's funny, actually, leaving Atlanta, it wasn't until to, you actually got to my gate that I looked at my bag and went, oh my God, one of my body sprays was still in my purse. And they said you're supposed to have all your liquids in the plastic bag. And it was in my purse. And I didn't get targeted or flagged for that. But somehow Minneapolis, I don't even know why, but they had to stop to pull the rope across. I got an extra pat down, even got the hand swipe, the chemical bomb swipe on my palm, which is weird. And another lady next to me, she said that every time she wears glitter, she gets extra pat down. So that's another thing to kind of consider. You could get randomly selected to get the extra screening or get the random cavity body search. It's gonna happen. I mean, here that was one of my biggest fears. It was funny. All my fears, or most of my fears of flying, happened at the Minneapolis St. Paul airport. I was afraid of getting stopped by security, and that happened, but it was minor. I was afraid of flying at, in a storm. Almost ended up flying. Well, we did actually start off flying in rain. I was afraid of having to switch planes and getting lost in the airport. That almost happened. I had to switch planes and switch airlines, but thankfully I ran through and found it no problem. And I was afraid of losing my luggage. And of course, that happened too. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And thankfully, mine was a very ideal scenario. It could have been 1,000 times worse than what happened. And don't be scared. One of the biggest things is don't be scared, nervous. I mean, it's a little terrifying, and it can be nerve-wracking, can be intimidating when you got TSA in your face and they're being jackasses. But really, don't let them intimidate you. Don't let them scare you. Ask questions, even if you don't want to ask the TSA the questions. Ask, the person next to you in the airport, in the line, to security, or just, like I said, Google it before you even leave. Yeah, like listen to announcements because I know it's mainly in Atlanta they had more of the announcements going. Minneapolis did have some, mainly about the 3 and 3, the 3 ounces in a quart size bag. But I mean, for the most part, they're going to give you announcements. If they're going to tell you you need to stop doing something or you need to do something, change lines or whatever, they're going to let you know. And like with having to change airlines, they even told us, they said, okay, guys, because of the weather, some of you may not make your connecting flights. We'll either talk to the airlines at your layover spot and let them know to hold the plane for you, or if nothing else, we might have changed flights for you. And then, like, shortly after the announcement, I heard my name. And they said, okay, we're going to send you a direct flight to Atlanta through Delta. And I'm like, what? You can do that? I said, yes. So we do it all the time. I said, oh, cool. I'm just like, you guys do that? All right. Because I figured, Delta, United, all the airlines, they're almost competing against each other. I didn't know. I mean, I'd heard about the legends of them doing stuff like that where they can swap planes if need be. Wow. I got to experience it firsthand. And turbulence. Everyone keeps telling me you've seen these movies, turbulence, people are freaking out. Honestly, we had some rough turbulence in one of the well, flying in the rain and stuff. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, to me, and it was kind of helped that on that flight we had a pilot from another air, or obviously not our pilot, but there was another pilot on the plane, and it does kind of help. You just kind of look over at him. It's like, well, he's not nervous. I should be there. But really, to me, I just kind of was just like, oh, I'm on the highway, bumpy roads, bumpy roads. Nothing to be worried about, just bumpy roads. I mean, really, I felt like I was in the car and, mom's hitting all the potholes. Whatever. Cool. So turbulence is really nowhere near as bad as everyone says it is. Now, there might be some times where turbulence is absolutely terrifying and you feel like you're going to just fall out of the sky, but I really doubt it. Um, as far as recommendations, I do recommend Delta. Delta was amazing, even though I had one flight with them. It was a lot longer than my other flights. Not a lot longer, about like half hour longer. They were a lot cooler. They really do have comfier seats. They have a lot more leg room. And with United, they only gave us drinks. Delta gave us drinks and a snack. They had peanuts, crackers, or pretzels. that you could choose from. And then they had a variety of Coke products. United had, oh God, United had, they said, a selection of Coke products on the first flight that I went on. I said, okay, well, do you have um, like Mellow Yellow? No. Do you have Mr. Pibb? No. Do you have just regular Coke? No. Okay. They pretty much had apple juice, ginger ale, and Diet Coke. That was it. I'm like, are you flipping serious? You can't say we have a variety of Coke products and not even have Coke itself. I think I ended up, yeah, just not getting anything because my stomach still wasn't ready for sustenance. And then the second United flight I went on, which was when and the other thing was like, apparently United has some of these smaller planes that I had to actually check my carry-on. That was fun. So anything I actually needed with me, I had to switch over to my purse. So that kind of made for interesting stuff too as well. But the second one again had about the same variety of nothing, but they had these stupid screens that were connected with DirecTV, and you could pay to watch it and listen to it. But I'm like, are you serious? So I really didn't. United, there was just a lot of what? But at least it was a bigger plane. But when got to fly Delta, I mean, like I said, a lot bigger variety, hilarious flight attendants. Of course, one of them was a gay Jewish guy. Oh my God, I loved him so much. He was like the poster hilarious Jew. So he was cool. He was a lot of fun. There was one point he was like, "Watch my cart." Okay, if it moves, I'll shoot it. Okay. But they had a way better variety of snacks and drinks. Like I said, bigger room to sit in. Just all around way better. And from what I could tell, the pricing when I actually got home and checked, because if I ever decide to take this flight again, is it good enough to go hang, just go and fly with Delta? And yeah, the flight prices weren't that much different, so I may actually fly with Delta next time. The other fun thing is do not check your tablet. Yeah, and if you do, wrap it carefully. I checked my laptop, and I actually had it wedged between my swimsuit and towel and the rest of my clothes, so it was fine. But on the flight back, for whatever stupid reason, I wasn't really thinking. I checked my tablet, and of course, I'm sure you guys again saw my vlog. It was broken. Because I just stuck it in with my toiletries, the little toiletries I packs. I stuck it up there like my razor and stuff like that. That did get broken because I not only did I check it, but I checked it in a really stupid spot in my luggage. So that's one thing. If you, really, it's smart to go ahead and just keep your tablet on you because that was supposed to be my e-reader. It was kind of all the stuff I was going to do was going to be with that. And stupid me ended up checking it anyway. So yeah, I was gonna have my e-reader and have the stuff on my tablet, the videos and everything, and I go and stupidly check it. So again, don't make the same mistakes I did. So yeah, that is some of the flying tips I have. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about my experience or any recommendations I have, put them in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And like I said, check with TSA or check with the airlines or just any questions you have, just Google them or what have you. Answers Yahoo. Check any of them. Any of them will give you the answers that you probably are looking for. And I know we went over the 30-minute mark, and that is okay because there's a lot to cover. This was going to be just traveling tips in general and end up being just flying tips because there is a lot to cover. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast and share them with friends. If you got a friend that's getting ready to take a flight or you're thinking about flying, just share this podcast and get the message out there. Now, hopefully I will post some more. Like I said, I'm still kind of in the process of getting a rhythm on these and getting them edited and stuff, which now I've got this cool new system so I can edit them before I put the picture on it. But anyway, that's details behind the scenes stuff y'all need to worry about. But I will talk to you guys later. Love, peace, Bye.